right into this. There's
right,
no
let's
welcome,
go.
nothing. It's just hijack. I said this earlier today. Yesterday was pro day for Richardson.
Yeah.
I said, unless they make a move, they being the Colts, for Lamar Jackson, there is no way they pass Anthony Richardson at 4. Reason I said that is they said he won't last past 5. I'm saying Colts are going to take him. There's no way they don't take him at 4.
I'd love for them to take him. I
No
think
way
that
they
they
don't.
should. But can they do this? Here's the one reason, is that Jim Irsay is not a patient man, and it seems like everybody agrees that Anthony Richardson's going to take a little bit of time to ferment and become a starting level quarterback in the NFL. And Jim Irsay, he was impatient enough with Matt Ryan that they went to Sam Ellinger. If
He was impatient enough with Carson Wentz that he's still talking about it.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, he won't forget that. When you go
So
over
you
the
don't
top
think
of
so?
him,
So
what?
bottom line, you don't think that if Richardson is there at 4, you do not think they'll take him?
I do think.
Oh,
they'll
you
take
do?
him. I do, but my reservation is that you hurry the batch. You know, we went out to that distillery, right? And the guy's talking
Moon
about
drops, yeah.
his legacy batches of whiskey. You can't empty the cask early, right? I think that Jim Irsay wants to get in there and wants to get at that whiskey now. I want delicious whiskey now. I want a great quarterback now. I think that's the way he does life.
So that's why 2 weeks ago I asked you here,
Yeah.
who's the quarterback? Because now I'm convinced it's going to be Anthony Richardson, and I think it's going to be Gardner Minshew, unless Richardson just comes in here and blows it away.
The one good thing where he could blow it away is if you watch him play, he gets better. He got better throughout the season last year. He got better within the game. Individual games, all of a sudden he was making better reads against defenses. And I thought, okay, this is a guy who's pretty smart. Will Levis, I didn't see that, but Anthony Richardson, I did. And I'll be honest, what am I? Like, I'm not a quarterback coach. I'm not Nick Sirianni.
Yes, you are.
But that I was pointed toward that by a quarterback expert with NFL pedigree.
Well, then there you go. That's all you need. It's who
Yeah.
you hang with. But I'm watching that workout yesterday. I watched, I don't know, a little bit of it. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
wait a second here.
Yeah.
Now, we are past the shorts and T-shirt phase of the draft, but I'm just telling you, I watched that kid and I'm reading about him, and look, he may go number 1. Hell, I don't know. It's not like Andrew Luck sitting there or John Elway, but I got to tell you, there is no way the Colts pass on that kid. That's why they got Minshew.
You gotta hope, right? You gotta. What I'm afraid they're gonna do is they're gonna trade down like with the Raiders. That the Raiders are in love with Richardson, so they're gonna trade back to 7, and they're gonna outsmart themselves, and they're gonna gather more picks because they've got holes everywhere. And all of a sudden, you don't solve this problem. You create more of them by missing more picks.
Yes, I'm with you on that. That would be, to me, not the worst thing, but it would be the worst thing. I think it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you take, I want to say it's not the worst thing because Will Levis would be the worst thing, but maybe Will Levis isn't. Will Levis is posting pictures of himself. He's just punchable. I can't.
Yeah.
He's posting in the muscle shirts, and I don't blame him. Look, I get it. You're ripped. You got the girlfriend. She's all of a sudden showing everything. She got the Kim Kardashian thing going. It's like, all right, enough. Well, why do you bring up the girlfriend? Because you bring up everything when you're talking about a quarterback.
Yeah.
Mahomes' wife is like, okay, but she's just a woman. It's everything.
David Carr.
Yeah.
Had an unattractive wife. Not like unattractive. This is a terrible thing to say. I feel bad about this already. I shouldn't have gone down this road, but the door is open and I'll walk through it. They used to show his wife in the suite. I was like, oh, who's that woman? And they said, well, that's David Carr's wife. And I said, you can't trust a quarterback with that lady for a wife. You just can't.
That's so painful.
Isn't it? It hurts.
That's what's that guy, Franklin, the coach at Penn State?
Yeah.
He said, I only want coaches on the road recruiting that have hot wives. That means they can recruit. Yeah, I mean, this was
He
prior.
still got his job.
It was prior to the Me Too movement. It was on this side of the bridge. Like, he didn't say that once the Me Tooers got going, but he famously said that. Coach Knight, I've told you the story for years, pulling over into the convenience mart, screaming at Todd Lindemann because he had a short girlfriend. You don't want to be tall. You don't want to be tall. You want to be short. You play that way. And the girl's like, I don't know what the hell I did. I just went to get lunch with this clown. I had some old man yelling at me. But no, I get what you're saying. Richardson, to me, he would have to, if he's going to be not as good or if he's going to be there would have to be, the film would have to tell me I can't take him or I can take him. Because everything else is going to tell you to take him.
There
right?
would have to be a red flag somewhere that you could point to 3 years down the road and say, I passed on him because, or you're never getting another job if he ends up being at the high end of what his potential is.
And I think he could. I mean, look, I just saw one of the guys text here and said, hello, Miami, Florida, John F. Kennedy in the house. He's not dead anymore. A lot of people think they're going to trade back and take Hooker.
That would be a disaster. That's a disaster.
I think so too.
That's look. I don't think you trade back. You said it the other day, and you were right. If he's your guy, take him.
Take him.
Don't screw around.
Don't trade back.
Take him at 4. I love Hooker. Okay.
Take him.
4. Fine.
If you are sitting there and you can go in whatever scout world you are, and here's this guy. The reason I went longer here is because these are more pros. Then take the guy you believe in.
Yeah.
Why are we hiring people if we're not going to trust their judgment on the one thing they're supposed to do?
Do you know why?
Tell me.
Because he doesn't trust himself.
I agree.
And that's a problem. If you're an executive and you have this self-doubt that is so paralytic that you can't hold a media outing without criticizing the media and questioning the media as they question you, that's a problem. You got big problems.
You're worried about them.
Yeah.
You're thinking about them. They're in your head. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm not? Worried about Kevin Bowen. You know what I mean? I love Kevin Bowen. Kevin Bowen's a great guy.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about it. If Kevin Bowen goes on the radio on Monday morning and says, Kent Sterling, I can't listen to him. I give a shit less.
Right.
I don't care. It doesn't make any difference to the way I live my life at all.
But that's Ballard. Ballard is that guy. He's
prickly.
been. So if all right, let's do this, listeners and watchers. Let's go balls factor.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Which would take more balls to draft Hooker at 4, Richardson at 4?
Wow. Well, I think it'd take more balls to draft Hooker because it's it's kind of like walking up to the roulette table. Who's got the bigger balls? The guy who puts a tall stack of hundreds on, number 11, or the guy who puts a short stack on red?
Yeah.
The guy who...
You're
he's
protected
an idiot,
with
but,
Richardson.
You have
protection.
Yeah.
You have cover.
We're with you.
All right, bigger balls.
Yeah.
Take Richardson or move back and drag back to 7 or back to whatever.
I think it's bigger balls to draft Richardson because I think you're hedging. I think it's kind of like the options exchange where you're buying puts to offset your loss in case there's a crash, a stock crash. Look, I got 3 guys. I'm going to hit on 2 of 3. So I can miss 1. I got covered with the 2 that I get. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
Guys are saying betting or picking Richardson is like betting not on red or black or a number. It's like betting on green, which roulette players know is 0 and double 0. Yeah. I don't know about that. I look at those. I got to tell you a story of what's happening outside my house. We're doing a show. It's unbelievable, these Pelicans that come in and they know where they're going, but I don't want to bore you. Richardson is the guy. All right, does it take more balls? Let's say, for the sake of argument, one of these other guys is there. Levis. I don't think you're gonna see Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud there at 4.
I don't either.
But does it take more balls to draft Levis or Richardson or Hooker?
Well, does it take more balls to drive down the wrong side of the street or the right side of the street? It's
wait a second.
All right.
Levis is considered a better prospect.
That's not my thought.
But we've talked about cover.
Yeah.
So
I don't
cover
think
Levis.
he's a better prospect. I think he's the prototypical bust.
Yes, he is.
Everything about him reeks, but he's Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
He's all of these guys.
Trubisky,
They look the same.
yeah.
I just don't see it.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by it now.
And people get mad. People will yell. You'll see people yell. Not that I'm worried about the yelling.
We've already
I'm just
established
talking
that.
about
We've already established that.
But people are like, "Oh, you're a hater."
Nobody's
Who
hating
hates?
nothing. You sit here and you discuss. Look, if the Colts had nuts, they would have moved to number 1 and they would have taken either Stroud
Yeah,
or Young.
right.
They didn't. They got beat out. So Carolina got it. And now they have to make their decision. The other team, who's the next team? Who's 2? Houston. They're going to take the other guy.
Right.
And now
And that's basically what they've said. D'Amico Ryans was like, "We got 2 guys we're looking at. We're comfortable with either."
yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Right.
So, and then nobody's a hater. You're an evaluator. You got to go through and talk about who do you think is the next best guy. That's part of the point of this show.
People don't deal with criticism well. So, does it take bigger balls to sacrifice the picks you need to move up to 3 and get the guy you want, or take a chance that somebody else does it and all of a sudden you're staring straight down the barrel of the 4th best quarterback in this draft at number 4?
It just depends on what your board says, but I don't trust the board, quote board. I don't trust the board of the Colts. All right. The bottom line is, I think no matter what, you're either going to get Levis, Hooker, or Richardson. You're going to get one of those 3.
You can't,
no matter what.
I can't imagine. This would be, how about this for balls? We're riding with Gardner Minshew as our starting quarterback in 2023. We're going to trade back. We're going to get Quentin Johnston out of TCU as a wide receiver. And then we're going to take a cornerback, either at 35 or someplace else after we trade back. We're going to get our cornerback situation settled. We're going to get our wide receiver. Do you know how much better Michael Pittman would be as a possession 2?
Yes, I do.
Than an elite guy.
I've been saying that. Yes, he's too slow.
And then Pierce
And
is
they
like
worked
a
that
slot.
kid out from TCU the other day.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
He's really good.
So you said a cornerback or a cornerback?
So
So
you lost Gilmore. You got Rodgers and Flowers is all you got at corner. That didn't
And
do
you are saying then that you're going to let the quarterback position go for this year, even though you have the number 4 pick.
That's a psychotically ballsy move. That's crazy. You go into Jimmy Irsay's office. I got a plan, Skip.
Yeah.
Here's what we're doing.
All my other plans have worked really well. Here's another one. You can't think. I guess, can you think in sports, in professional sports, about season tickets?
I don't think so.
I don't
The
think
media money is so gigantic
Right.
that if you sell another 3,000 season
Yeah.
tickets, but this I know about the Colts, and this I don't like, and this is internal stuff. I don't know that people know this, that they've now got like prox cards and they're being monitored. The internal comings and goings in that building of like staff, administrative staff, sales staff, kind of those down the line, not football related employees, they're being monitored as they move about the building and to try to make things more efficient, to try to get people to work a little bit more for their money. And they don't pay people a whole lot of money. And I think it's stupid, number one, because you're showing a lack of trust. And number two, a lack of management. And number three, having a conversation where you're just shitting around, you poke your head in somebody's office and you say, hey, I got an idea. Like that's going to show up as idle time, but you're having a productive, creative conversation. I just think it's bad mojo.
This is like a law firm where you have to bill hours for every 10 seconds or whatever, 20-second phone call. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it. No, I don't like that at all. You got to let people work or don't hire them.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty
Trust.
simple.
Hire.
Would you trust, I go back to
trust.
this, would you trust Ballard? If you're Jimmy Irsay and this is $1 billion industry and this is your family's business, it's not Disney that owns a team or the Chicago Tribune that owns a team. This is the family goods right here. And you've seen what's transpired, and for whatever the reason you don't want to fire the guy, are you trusting him?
No. But then you got to fire him. If you don't trust your subordinate, he's got to go.
Got to go.
I saw this on Pro Football Focus today. Their power ranking, pre-draft power ranking, The Colts are ranked 32nd.
I saw that.
This is year 7 of the Ballard plan, the Ballard era, and you have the worst roster in the NFL. I don't know what do you hang your hat on,
Right.
in Chris Ballard's defense. I don't know what it is.
I don't either. He got leg time because of Nelson and Leonard, and then that. But look, I've said this forever. I don't give a rat's about any of it. Just win in the NFL freaking L. Just win. And if you do not have a set of balls on you to make a move, then you're not going to win.
How about this for not having balls? Ballard at the annual meeting, don't tell me I'm not aggressive. I traded our 13th overall pick for DeForest Buckner. That was 3 years ago. You got teams making ballsy moves every month.
Yeah.
This guy is hanging his hat on a ballsy move from 3 years ago as evidence that he'll be ballsy. To me, it argues exactly the opposite.
I agree. It's like somebody says, well, we got a video, or we've got a tweet from 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, shit, that's a pretty good track record.
Yeah.
9 years.
Right. I've been clean for 9 years.
I mean, whoa, you should have got one from 2 years ago if you really were checking me out. And so 3 years ago, okay, here's a ballsy move that just happened. Jimmy Garoppolo in Las Vegas, and a guy who's been their quarterback, Derek Carr, out. That's a ballsy move.
Yeah.
That's a legit ballsy move, because Derek Carr has been a dude in Las Vegas for as long as they've been there that people have liked. I mean, it's not like he's been a pig.
Although it's a ballsy move by a franchise that has really over 20 years not made any correct decisions at all.
I agree. So maybe there's a difference between ballsy and stupid. Maybe Ballard hasn't made a stupid move that maybe he ought to hang his hat on. But hey, 3 years ago I did this. Hey, Rod, go fight,
Right.
win. Seriously. All right, I got another one for you. Hunter Dickinson. Now, this actually happened. You know my track record on putting people in the portal here over the course of this week. Hunter Dickinson leaves Michigan to transfer to the portal. That has been confirmed by folks that have seen the portal. If I'm Indiana, I got to tell you, and bear with me here a second. My son played at Michigan. The difference between fan interest, school interest in basketball between Michigan and Indiana is like a JV relative to the varsity. Like Michigan may have 3 sellouts a year. If I'm Indiana, not necessarily Purdue because you already got Edie in there, but if I'm Indiana, I'm like, hey, what package are you looking for? What do you want?
Yeah.
I'm good. That changes the dynamic of the entire operation.
If you could find a way to get Dickinson and Caleb Love, what do you think of Caleb Love? If you get both those guys, you're in pretty good shape.
I think Caleb Love is a guy that did what a lot of guys do. He had a big year. Everybody kissed his ass. He made a bunch of tough shots, fell in love with himself, and didn't have a good year. Now he's been humbled. I want to take the humbled good player in these instances.
I like Dickinson a lot.
Yeah, I didn't think he was all about Michigan, and that may be him, or that may be what's going on at Michigan.
Yeah.
Because I've said this about Michigan, and it's the Mike Davis thing. You have a team, and you get the residual of the Bob Knight discipline, and then when it becomes your own discipline, then what are you going to do? And you got a problem, and that's what we're starting to see a little bit here with Juwan Howard. I would take Dickinson on my team today, tomorrow, the next day.
That's really a difficult part of leadership. To have had a tough guy, like I heard this story about Buck Showalter and Bob Brenly. Brenly takes over for Showalter. Showalter had this binder with team rules. It was 210 pages, how to dress on the road. Everything was laid out. Brenly walked into the clubhouse day one, took the binder in front of the team, threw it in the can. They went out that season and won a World Series. And then it all fell to shit.
Yeah.
It all went to hell. You can come in as a hero who sort of releases the hounds, and they go to work for you for a while, and then they start to drift a little bit, and you can't get them back.
There's a reason
Buck
really Showalter's been pretty good. I mean, he's had good jobs, but there's a reason he's been pretty good. No, you're exactly right. So who knows what I would have to find out. But for Indiana, again, I'm not going to put Purdue in there. Maybe Butler. I don't think he would go to Butler. I think he's more of a Big Ten I don't know. Maybe Maryland wants it, but that's an interesting development today.
Do people in other conferences value bigs like Hunter Dickinson in the way they do in the Big Ten?
It's a great question. When you're 19 points, I was looking at this today. He's 19-9 or whatever it is. Yeah, I think he'd be valued. I do. I think
because he can step out and shoot.
Yeah,
it too.
and he's uber productive.
Yeah,
like he's not a little productive. He's uber. You know, when you're almost at 20 a night, you're almost a 20-10 guy. You're uber productive. So I think that it would be impossible for somebody, if he wanted to go, regardless of whether you're playing out in California or you're playing in the Big East or you're playing in the SEC, I think it'd be impossible for any coach to say, no, we don't want you. Yeah. I just think he's that productive. Yeah. I think he's great. I do think he's great. He's a great college player.
Hood-Schifino leaving. Now I hear, this is so odd. I mean, he hadn't played a game in a couple of weeks, and people were saying he's a guy in the 20s. Now they say he's in the top 10 somehow or another. How does he's a first round guy, right?
Yeah, I was a little bit just based on talking to Dane Fife about him. I think, Dane made the point that he kind of, if it were up to him and all things being equal, he would have stayed. He loved his experience in Indiana. Now it's not up to him because everybody around you, you're going to make money. The idea is not the first contract. The idea is the second contract. You want to get 2 or 3 of those. Those are the $100 million ones. I got to tell you, I may be missing. I never know. Like, he looks to me like George Hill. And George Hill's had a great career, made a lot of money.
Wow, that's really interesting.
George Hill, when I went in 2008 to the Combine in Orlando. And I sat with Lawrence Frank, and he was, I think, running the Nets maybe, I don't know, and a bunch of guys. And they're like, hey, what do you think of George Hill? I got to tell you, I really didn't pay attention because I was coaching. But he's been the best lead guard here, just solid. And George has had, I don't know, a 15-year career.
Yeah.
Played, that's
still rolling.
Yeah, that's who he reminds me of. You always want to put to somebody that they remind. I don't think he's a dynamic playmaker. I don't think he's a Kobe Bryant scorer or anything like that on the wing. I think he's a role player that fits a good role as a young guy. Maybe a Buddy Hield. I don't know. Maybe handles the ball better than Buddy Hield. He's certainly not Halliburton, who's going to go distribute.
Right. And he can't shoot like Hield.
No, he can't shoot like Hield, but he'll be a shooter. He's a good enough shooter that with the NBA, when you work every single day, you don't have school, you don't have restrictions on how much you can be in there. It's either sink or swim, and if you're not in the gym, you're not lasting. And he'll be a really good NBA shooter.
He seems to be a kid whose head's on right. I didn't see a lot of look at me crap.
I didn't see a lot of him talking.
No.
Like, I thought he came to
I've never seen him smile.
I've never seen him change expression.
I love that.
Yeah, you can say that's, as a lead guard, I got to have energy and enthusiasm, but for how he's going to play, like, if you were going to say to me, you mentioned Caleb Love earlier, if you're going to say to me, would you rather have a sophomore, remember, people, you're not developing him. Well, a sophomore Schifino's going to develop no, he didn't even last 2 his sophomore. I'd rather have Caleb Love next year than I would have Schifino back.
Yeah.
I would rather have a point guard that's going to get me 12 assists and be dynamic off the dribble a little bit and defend the point guard and keep him in front. But I would rather have Love. Whatever happened in North Carolina, you got to find out. But I want Love over a sophomore Schifino.
At least it would give hope.
Right.
Hope. Off-season hope is good. Caleb Love and Hunter Dickinson provide us hope.
Yes. I don't know. Does Sparks from Ball State provide you hope?
Probably
or is
not. He's a placeholder type guy, right?
Is that like your guy Ballard filling the bottom or good enough at the bottom of the roster?
Yeah. But we can't fall beneath that at the 4. You don't do numbers anymore, but you know what I mean.
No, you don't. And so if I'm Indiana and I look out there and I know there's a kid at Harvard.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my stepdaughter. She's like, really? Going to Indiana? She's an athlete. She goes to all the Harvard basketball games. She goes, really? That guy? I go, yeah, I think Indiana's coming to visit him. You might see the Indiana coaching staff walking around here. I don't want, really? Coming from the Ivy League's really good, and you saw what Princeton did. No, I want, that guy scored a bunch of points in the NCAA tournament. They went to the championship game at North Carolina. That's what, as a fan, that's what I want.
Does this make college basketball more or less interesting? That we don't get to fall in love with guys and see them over 4 years, that every offseason's like free agent frenzy for a couple of months?
A lot of people think so. I kind of think so. I'm totally a fan now. Like, I'm not involved. I don't have to learn who's going to go where, maybe who's going to go where. So I would say, yeah. I mean, man, I remember hosting Mike, and it was the first day of NBA free agency, and it was like, holy cow, hey, you got to buckle up. You got to be good today. I'm like, really? Oh, this is maybe the biggest day of the summer. Yeah. I'm like, really? And NBA's smart with that. College basketball, I think it does. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
I do too.
It keeps me, like, I'm the guys who are on Twitter who follow all this crap. I'm in and I'm watching. Just like with the NFL, I'm watching the NFL Network and Jamie Erdahl and those knuckleheads in the morning. I wake up with it every day because ESPN's driving me crazy.
I can't watch it.
No.
I mean, I can do a segment if you want on ESPN. I turn that crap on and I want to throw things at the I want to throw things.
Yeah.
I just like, this is idiotic. I can't find a place to go. I went to where do you go in the morning? I mean, before 9 o'clock, I'm going to retweet our show so we get more watchers.
Sure.
Where do you go in the morning? What do you watch? It used to be automatic, Mike and Mike. It was automatic for me for 172 years.
Right.
I got nothing now.
I'm doing the radio show until 9,
that's
so
right.
I don't really
you
care.
Don't know.
No, at 9 o'clock, I watch the NFL Network, and I love the show. They pivot. Great story about Jim Harbaugh today.
What do you do?
Really funny. So the guy on the NFL Network says, hey, I grew up in Lincolnshire, Illinois, and I went to this junior high. And they said, hey, a Chicago Bear is coming to speak to the school. And Jim Harbaugh walks in, and everybody applauds. And so Jim Harbaugh starts talking, and like his first story is about how you take a snap. And he said, I can use the word, I guess. It's like a-hole.
Yeah.
Was the word. This guy danced around it. He said he was very biological in describing where you put your middle knuckle.
Really?
You put it underneath, the guy's keister.
Get it in there.
Yeah. And the other guy on the site goes, I tried to become a center. I had been like a guard or whatever. I wanted to be a center. And I called my agent and I said, I need somebody to snap the ball to me or something. So he called Harbaugh, who lived right near the park. Harbaugh got in his golf cart, came over, and got real friendly real quick.
Oh, no. That ended it.
Yeah.
Did that end him being a center?
I would hope. That'd do it for me. $1 million a year, no. But like they'll kind of off-ramp into football-related mischief and come back, and it's always entertaining. I like the show. I think that show is really good. And the Golf Network. I'll watch Golf Network all day.
I tried to watch Keyshawn, what's that guy's name? Max?
Yeah, Kellerman?
Yeah, I couldn't watch it in the morning. I tried to watch it. In fact, I actually tweeted him. I go, this is the dumbest segment that I've ever seen on transfers. And they tweeted me back, thanks for listening, Dan. I go, I gave you 10 minutes, and then I had to turn the channel. I don't know that there's anything for me to watch in the morning because we don't get information. Like, all right, let's go back to something.
It's all just people talking, trying to get airtime. That's what it is. It's a constant battle for FaceTime, and I don't like that.
It's an audition all right, let me go this route because you have a sense of who the Colts are bringing in to work out. You mentioned the wide receiver from TCU. Quarterbacks, I assume, aren't going to come in to work out. Right? They've had their pro day. They've had the combine.
Unless they want like Aiden or somebody like that to come in.
All right. Here's my thing. If I were the Colts, I would have a quarterback that, not Jacob Eaton, but somebody, Desmond Ridder is going to be the starter. Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati is going to start right now as it sits here at Atlanta, and they're very excited about him. My question is, why can't the Colts ever come up with that guy? And I guess Sam Ehlinger is, but I got to get rid of, I got to have a talent. I got to draft two. Like Grigson legitimately was going to draft Russell Wilson in the 3rd round, even though they were getting, I can't pass quarterbacks. I can't drop down. I got to take Hooker if he's at 4, if I think he's the best. I can't jack around with this quarterback thing.
No.
And I got to, regardless, I want to take another one. I want to bring 5 guys in here that can all maybe play and figure it out. I don't know, Kent.
You want to draft 5 guys?
No, but I want to. I got Minshew in here already.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going to do with. I'll take Foles or Ellinger in here.
Yeah.
No, and then I'm going to draft 2, so 4.
Okay.
I'm going to draft. I'm going to have 4 in here.
What he'll say, what Ballard will say, is you can only play one of them, and we got holes in other spots. So I need to get a safety. I need a right guard.
Then where the hell you been drafting for the last 10 years?
Yeah, that's a
like
good
Nick
question.
Cross is supposed to be your safety.
Right.
Julian Blackmon's supposed to be your safety.
Malik Hooker.
Oh God, he was gonna and Quincy Wilson. What have you been doing? And what are these guys on the roster for? You let Farley go. Farley was good.
Yeah, I liked him.
I did too. He hit people. I mean, I don't know what's good or what's not. But why are all these guys on the team if you're going to draft another defensive tackle, another rusher? You already got like Deo and you got Kwity Paye and you brought this guy with 5 sacks in, and last year you brought in Ngakoue. What are you doing? At some point, are these guys ever going to get good? Is Cross ever going to get good enough?
He's really young, but we said the same thing about Quincy, and Quincy never got
Once you
good.
start making excuses, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Can we say that on here?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Can't
Let's see if
monetize
anybody's
it.
upset. I don't think so.
Damien,
No, you can. It's okay. Sparse usage.
As far as
It's okay.
No, but I got excited there. I'm just saying, at what point do these guys develop? And there's more.
Yeah.
Okay, we need a tight end. Well, you got Granson here. You drafted him early. You got freaking Mo Ellie Cox here. You drafted him, and you've told us this guy is whatever. I mean, well, we really don't have a Jack Doyle. Well, what the hell? Where's Mo Ellie Cox? You can't catch him, blocks him. Seriously.
Yeah.
That's
you
the
got
crap.
Johnny Woods, who I'm telling you, whew, this guy. You get that all the time. And Rock Ya-Sin, even though he's gone, Rock Ya-Sin was like a state championship high school wrestler.
Yeah.
What the
I don't
hell
care.
do I care?
You know what I care?
Okay.
I want to hear that he's a state champ 100-meter dash guy, and then I'll talk.
Yeah, right.
But all of these guys, Kent, like at what point, if you're a first-round draft choice, do you say, all right, every time Kwity Paye gets a tackle, when I did my other radio show, 3 guys would say, see, you're wrong. I'm like, all right, he got a tackle. He's a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Deo, see, they were smart. He's a second-round pick, for crying out loud. At what point do we say, guys, somebody got to become all-pro? Somebody got to become a legit. Is there a corner that they've drafted Isaiah Rodgers is the only one? You mentioned it. Flowers.
Yeah. And and Wilson. But that, like we said, that didn't go well at all.
These linemen, for Christ's sake, Danny Pinter is going to be your right guard. Oh, no, wait, he's really a center. Jesus.
Why can't a center play right guard?
Why can't a right guard play center? You're handling the ball? Head's
you
got to be
do,
up.
as long as you can tolerate a knuckle,
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh has a knuckle up there.
I mean, but it's just, and Colts fans think I'm nuts with this, but I am, but I'm not. This is what should be asked. It's going to happen in a month. Well, we did not think this guy would be there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he's there because he never plays.
First-round grades. First-round grade. We got a third rounder who had a first-round grade. He was so far up on our board. We were like, why? Why is he still on our board? Maybe it's your board? How about that?
I'm getting out the roster. You continue the conversation. I'm going to go through this freaking roster with you. You're right. Everybody,
But they solved the kicker.
Nick Cross was unbelievable when we saw him, have sex with goats. It was incredible what he was able to accomplish. Really? Oh, okay, great. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't have sex with goats. And
No.
Nick, we're sorry about that.
We're pretty sure he didn't.
No, we didn't. But my brother did. My brother wrote a column, a paper at Wabash on how to have sex with goats for an English class. But we can move along. But I'm going to go through some of these guys, and you tell me, all right, so these guys are supposed to be, the next big thing. All right, Mo Ellie Cox, I already talked about. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. Yeah, I don't know who that guy is.
They signed another down-the-roster running back today who played with the Bears in 22.
Well,
okay.
So when do we sign and develop, I don't know, an all-pro, a Pro Bowler, a legit starter, legit starter? Dan, is this a new show? Should I ring the bell? Yes, you should ring the bell. Dan, sometimes you're nuts, but you're right about the Colts. I know I'm right about the Colts. Who the hell is Henry Black? He's a safety from Baylor. Rashad Berry, Who are these guys? Why are they on my thing? These guys are on the Colts active roster.
Well, you got to have somebody there.
Okay, but at what point does somebody there play? When's Julian Blackmon going to be good?
Yeah.
He's hurt.
Great dude.
Yeah, is that
Fun
right?
to talk to. I like him.
All right.
But
is that Faison gone?
Yes.
Well, he's
gone.
a Gus Bradley guy.
He went back to the Raiders, went back to Vegas. Yeah, that didn't work out so well.
No, and I remember talking to him, and I really liked him.
Yeah.
Man, what a nice kid.
They're all that way. Righteous criticisms about the way they play. But in the locker room, these are really, really good guys. Yeah. I enjoy, I used to walk around, back in 2015, I'd be like, ooh, Antonio Morrison, I don't want to go over there.
Oh, he proved it too.
Landry, I don't want to go over there. Here's a lot of guys they didn't want to talk to. This group, I don't care. If they're sitting at their locker, I'll go and talk to them.
All right, maybe that's why they stinks. So is Ashton Doolin, is he an answer? I'm going through this with you.
He's a special teams guy.
All right.
He's really good at special
Michael
teams.
Strawn, they drafted him.
Oh, and we've got to go through another training camp where all the fans who go out, they look at him and say, oh, this guy's going to be a Pro Bowler. No.
Andrew Ogletree, again, he's going to be a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, he tore his knee up.
I know it.
So,
all right, we'll give him a pass. Jelani Woods, I think, has a chance to be really good.
Why don't they throw to him?
I don't know.
Why wouldn't you throw him a corner? A guy's 6'7" with hands like highlight cestas. Yeah, he just stands there and grabs balls in practice. Why don't you do it again? Here's an idea. He's tall, he's athletic, he's got big hands. He can run and catch in the end zone. Hey, there. Frank Reich, you genius, you Mensa member. Good luck. Carolina Panthers fans, they're over the moon right now. They think Frank Reich invented football, and it's going to take about a year and a half. And you're going to say, sheesh, I don't think this guy knows anything about that. How did this guy play so long in the league, coach so long in the league, and have such a shallow feel for the game?
I don't know the answer, but I got a name. Rodney Thomas. These guys, Rodney Thomas was really good last year. Really? So you're an expert on safety play? Really? So we got extra.
Hey, now, I would sign Rodney McLeod. I'd re-sign
him?
Yeah.
Did you?
He was the only guy who could play. He made a bunch of tackles. He hit people.
Well, that's enough for me.
Yeah, that's it.
Rodney McLeod. Remember, Rodney McLeod was the mentor of Slapdick Johnny, a.k.a. Nick Cross. I'm picking on Nick Cross. I'm sorry, Nick. I'm not going to do that. But that's all the crap that I hear. Okay, Grover Stewart, legit.
Yeah.
Zaire Franklin developed into a legit guy. I'll give Zaire Franklin credit. E.J. Speed, I know you like him. Everybody likes him. But
he's fast.
Okay, at what point does he become a real guy?
I think now.
Okay.
Because Okereke's gone, and I think Okereke's gone because Speed was pushing him. And Speed's going to be a better player at about an eighth the money.
Okay, that's fair enough. All right. I would argue this. Curious your thought. Kenny Moore, great guy. Sat across from him, interviewed him at the Tyler Trent Golf Hunt. Great dude.
Yeah.
I mean, tremendous leader in our community. But once he made the Pro Bowl, even 2 years ago, he was horrible at the end of the season at Jacksonville and at home against Oakland. Pro Bowl was announced, I think, that week. He's been awful since.
Yeah, and I didn't agree with, and I know he's got an agent, but I didn't agree with the way he went about his business trying to get an extension out of sequence because Ballard doesn't do that. Ballard's not going to make an exception for anybody, but certainly not a slot corner.
All right. To me, you can't, you gotta, when you get an accolade, this is what separates the greats. When you get an accolade, you want more of it.
Yeah.
You don't settle for, wow, I'm a Pro Bowl. You don't say, well, you know what, now I've made it. You don't know, you want more and more. There's a hunger, there's a thirst. And Kenny Moore went like a grade school kid, boom.
Yeah.
I think, all right, I'm going to give you Rodney Thomas we like, huh? Do we like Rodney Thomas?
I don't know him.
You're 6-1. He played a lot, actually. Yeah, I don't even know these guys. Who's Kevin Tolliver? No, who the hell are these guys?
I know that Rodney Thomas is on the roster, but I don't recall him being dynamic at all.
Okay, you drafted Eric Johnson.
Yeah.
Well, when is it? Maybe it's now. Maybe Eric Johnson.
We can't believe the kind of defensive tackle we got from Cincinnati. All the reports are blah, 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 and then he doesn't play.
I can't. This name haunts me. Ben effing Banagoo.
Yeah. Velcro.
Why Velcro?
He can't get on blocks. He's stuck to guys. The guy sticks to every offensive lineman he plays against.
Oh,
He's horrible.
My God, man.
He's got to be gone. He's still on the roster?
He should be gone for who they didn't take when they took him. A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin. He should be gone by proxy. We took you instead of them. You continue to haunt. I think Ben Banigou is like the Bob Knight jinx on Indiana or the curse of the goat.
And here's the here's the horrible thing about those videos that they do on draft night. They were like, I think he could fall to us. I think we could get both. There were two guys. I think it was Okereke. We can get Okereke and Banigou. We could get both of them.
Really?
Yeah.
And you did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How is he still on the board?
Well, we don't know.
It's not the board's fault, I guess. Who put together the board? This is what we need to know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let the board talk to you. The board speaks in gibberish.
The board's Camilla Harris. Like, hi, guys. I like school buses. They're nice. Seriously, this board, this magical board that Chris Ballard says tells you what you're doing. All right, fine. I get it. It's the board, and everybody's got one. But you got to revamp the board, or you're just, insanity, doing the same thing over and over again.
Maybe we've been putting together the board incorrectly all these years. And we should build from the outside in instead of break a few eggs. Say, look, oh no, my dogma this entire time has been wrong. Dogma isn't physics. I got this all confused. Why can't Chris Ballard understand any of this?
I think they should just draft drunk. Because sometimes when you drink, people say, well, when you drink, you're really saying nasty. No. Sometimes your psychology changes and you become more fearless. That's why Chris Ballard, he wouldn't be thinking. He would be saying, hey, look, I don't have the same fears in this skull of mine. I am not worried about Kevin Bowen or 107.5, and I'm just going to go pick because I've had a couple tequilas.
I think that's the mindset that fueled that, like, 4-martini lunch generation of sellers.
Oh, did you see, what's that show, Mad Men?
Yeah, Mad Men.
Genius! Come on in. It's 10 in the morning. Everybody's got a scotch in their hand, and they make good decisions. Hey, I'm not saying drive drunk. I'm not saying go murder your wife. Don't get violent. Know your limit. But damn, Ballard, it might be time to have a few beers and then get rid of all the stuff that is clogging you.
Do something.
Clogging you.
Anything different. When you're like stuck in a ditch, any movement is good.
Right.
Yes. Stuck in a ditch.
That car is, you're like, it moved. It's like, Costanza eating mangoes. Ooh, it moved. Wait a second. I'll be right back.
Do the opposite. Speaking of Costanza.
Yes.
I'm short, bald, and I live with my parents.
Oh, God, you're sexy.
Yeah.
All right, Final Four. You interested?
Yeah.
Are you interested?
I am. I think it's going to be fun, but I think UConn's going to win. I'd like to see FAU beat San Diego State. That'd make for a fun final game.
Do you think, people worry about the ratings. Do you think people will watch out of, I don't know, maybe, hey, look, let me see these teams of curiosity? Or do you think it's like, you know what, I got to tell you, I don't know these teams. It's not Duke, Carolina, Indiana, Michigan State, blah, 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 and they're going to stay away. Blue blood cell.
I think there's some of that.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, they everybody abandons this weekend a little bit. You don't have a bunch of competing stuff.
Yeah.
This is kind of fun. It's at 6:09 the first game, so it's before any of the NBA action. Maybe you get reeled in. I'm excited about tonight. I want to see Caitlin Clark.
I do
She's
too.
a badass. I think that's going to be a neat game. South Carolina's really, really good. So this is a great weekend of basketball.
I agree. I'm not the biggest or the least proponent of women's basketball. I think it's fine. I'm glad that the Final Four always seems to be interesting, and by all accounts, right now the sales of tickets double the price for particularly the game tonight. Caitlin Clark, but I got to tell you, folks out there, Caitlin Clark is a blast. I mean, Caitlin Clark is so smart, so good, shoots it from deep, does everything you want in a basketball player. I started watching her last Saturday. I mean, I've seen her a few times. I watched her against Indiana hit a shot to win, but I started really watching I guess it was Saturday, and I couldn't stop. Like, it's just fun.
I loved her against Indiana. I was sick about the result, but she hit a 3 late.
Yeah.
And like Holly Rowe or somebody asked her after the game how she felt when she released it. And she said, well, that was money. I felt like that was money. I was like, you're a badass.
Yeah.
You know, and she doesn't do it. It's not like this arrogant,
No.
like, look at me, look at me. It's just like calm, cool, collected, and, you know, swag.
The other girl, and this is something I fell in love kind of with her last year, is this Aaliyah Boston from South Carolina. She's big. She got like red things going in her hair, but man, everybody wins with a girl like Aaliyah Boston because she is all enthusiasm and all energy, and she's the best player on the team and second best player in the country. And when you have that, you're like, holy hell. Like, give me that. We don't need a stoic great player. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was going down the tubes until Magic Johnson came and lifted everybody up. That, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I agree with you. I think Connecticut's the best team. I think FAU is going to beat Miami, beat San Diego State, assuming something wacky doesn't happen. But I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be interesting.
Are you going to miss Jim Nantz
Not
after
even
this Final Four? He is the most replaceable, legendary sportscaster I think ever. And that's that's a good thing to be. It's not a criticism. He's just there and he's hanging and he tells you stuff. His behavior never changes. I like him, but I only like him. I don't watch anything because of him.
No,
the Masters would sound different without him.
Yeah, the Masters would, but basketball, we get enough announcers during the season that you get so many, and Nantz really is, you hear Benetti way more than you hear Nantz, or you hear whoever. So I don't think, but man, is that a great way to put it. Jim Nantz is the most replaceable, legendary announcer, because I'm sitting there thinking, Dick Enberg, Billy Packer, and McGuire were the one. And Dick Enberg was really hard to replace.
Yeah. He was so good at getting Billy and Al into the roles they needed to play to make that broadcast so good. And like people who watch today who are younger than us, because they called their last Final Four, the last one Indiana won in 81.
That was their last
one? That was it. And so you got to be kind of long in the tooth to have heard him. But this is the best college basketball broadcast ever.
I agree. No offense. None taken. I agree.
It was awesome.
They would have lasted. Well, Al McGuire used to call traveling. I don't even know if we can say it. Because who knows? Somebody clips it off, and next thing you know, I'm going to media hell. But he would say things that you look back now and you're like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that.
No.
Not even sort of, kind of, maybe.
He made Billy Packer more money.
Oh.
Without being the counterpoint to Packer, Billy Packer would have been dismissed from broadcasting in the 70s. But McGuire was the perfect counterpoint.
Yeah, they get lightning in the bottle. And now, my frustration watching it is Grant Hill really doesn't know. He doesn't, he's there, and Raph just grunts. And Raph's fun and all that, but, I remember when I worked with him, they're like, okay, hey, Dan, they're in the year, like, Raph's going to do his man-to-man thing, so after the tip, just hold out. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh. And he gets so, no, I would miss him. Is he going to do the Masters? He's going to do the Masters.
Yeah, he's going to keep doing that.
Yeah, I'm fine with all of it, but I don't think he's like, wow. He's as milquetoast as you're. The only time I ever saw him cry or get emotional was he was going through a divorce, and his wife was, I guess, horrible, and it was a trial because Jim said, "Look, this woman's so horrible. I got a girlfriend." And of course, the wife's like, "Well, he got a girlfriend, so it was like chicken and egg." And the jury voted for Nantz.
Really?
Yeah, the jury's like, she's horrible. Like it was like the last Seinfeld episode where they. I don't know if Nantz did this, but they just kept bringing up more people and more people to describe how horrible. So it was like the jury said, hey, man, we give.
He did this.
And he cried, so that was the only time I saw him cry.
I don't think I've told it on the show. I've told it a million times otherwise, so I've probably told you 3 times, but I'm standing at the in 15 at the Final Four, they're going to announce the Basketball Hall of Fame class. I thought, well, this will be, I was in the convention center anyway, so I just wandered in. And they got about seats for maybe 80 people. And it was all like family and friends, so I didn't want to like horn in. I stood against the wall, and I'm looking, just kind of looking around to my left, and to my right, I get a guy who like grabs my elbow. And I look, and it's Jim Nantz. He goes, "How you doing?" I said, "Good. Good, how you doing?" Good day. You know, he had like a 15-minute conversation with me, and he was exactly Jim Nantz. And it was just meaningless, like yip-yap.
Yeah.
But he acted like we were friends.
Well, that's a great trait.
And then he goes like this, "Yeah, I got to go to work." And he walks up to the podium, straight to the podium, and starts talking in the same tone to the crowd as he just did to me. He's just him.
Yeah.
He's the luckiest man in the world.
Yeah.
There's no performance value to him at all.
You know when he does perform, though? Do you know the story about his house?
Oh, yeah.
He has a hole there, and he announces, like,
Hello,
on Pebble
friends.
Beach. Hello, friends. Ken Sterling on the tee. Yeah, there's no performance. But, all right, last thing. I wore my Cubs hat. I don't know if they're going to go 162-0, but I do know
They're on their way.
They're one of the teams that has a chance to go 162-0. I will say this, Tucker Barnhart, I think we talked about this, told me, he goes, "Hey man, I'm telling you, these veterans we got here, good, really determined. This is, Cubs over under was 77 wins, and I took the over just because of what he said. I liked him yesterday.
They could be a 500 team.
Yeah.
I don't know. They got 5 threes in the rotation,
Yeah.
I think. They don't have a great closer. They got guys, I don't know. You know, I did this thing with Goose Gossage like 9 months ago, and he said anybody could manage baseball. Anybody. It's all done for you. It's all on the printouts. You look in the binder. This is the matchup at this point. This is how you pitch this guy. You don't have to do any work. The computer spits out your thing. You got the analytics guys who give it to you before the game. A child could manage Major League Baseball.
I don't like that.
I don't like it.
I don't like that at all.
I'd much rather it be played by guys, managed by guys.
Yeah.
It's going out into a park playing a game, and it seems like it's become something different from that, and it bothers me.
I would say yesterday, Stroman, we always used to say you can tell the Cubs by the first inning. 1984, Bobby Dernier got up. It was on either Atlanta or somewhere, right up the middle base hit. We're like, all right. 1984 is a long time ago, but first pitch was in the dirt, and he struck out the side. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're going to the World Series.
84, even with 16, that might have been my favorite
Me too.
year. That was just awesome.
Me too. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was the first time we got to experience the playoffs at our age. I think the Cubs are good. I don't think they're great. If Cody Bellinger can become a real guy, then they got a chance. I think the White Sox, Benetti told me, he goes, I don't know. He goes, last year makes him a little bit apprehensive, but this is a talented crew on the South Side.
I hope they got a manager who can get the best out of that roster.
Who's the manager?
I don't even know.
I don't either. Who was it? La Russa, falling
Yeah, it
asleep.
was Tony. Yeah.
They showed the guy this morning. I was half asleep. I had the TV on, and they showed him. I'm like, that's not Renteria. Remember the big guy Renteria?
Yeah.
The manager? Ricky. Yeah.
Ricky Renteria is going to be our manager next year. What? Oh, no. Joe Madden's going to be our manager.
That's right.
They're like, Ricky, he's got the job. He's forever. No, not so much.
Last thing. Did you see that Joe Madden, who is like the godfather of sabermetrics and analytics, is saying there's too much in the game?
See? You come out the other side. You come to the side of logic eventually.
Yes.
I can't stand it.
No, it's too much.
Goose Gossage, you would love Goose Gossage.
I like all those guys.
Goose Gossage, he's quite a character.
I bet.
He's quite something.
All right, we gave you 54 minutes of our lives on a Friday. How lucky are you? People got to pay for that.
It's unbelievable.
He's going to head to Wolfie's and watch Kent's Twitter, because you'll see Leslie Nielsen. You might see George Clooney. Whenever Kent goes to Wolfie's over here on Geist, he runs into the most amazing people on a Friday. It could be a Tuesday afternoon or a Wednesday night or a Friday night. You're going to see some lookalikes, or maybe they see actual people.
Well, we don't know.
No.
We don't question.
We don't
I
bother
go
with
out
stuff.
without the glasses. I can't tell Leslie Nielsen from a Q-tip.
And we're certainly not going to go up and ask them because we respect their greatness.
So we take a picture of them from afar and we post it on social media.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Look for it later on. Leslie Nielsen's been dead 20 years. All right. Hey, Otter Creek.
I get those. Like people say, hey,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? He's dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't get the gag?
Thanks. Appreciate that.
No.
People have no sense of humor. People are so literal. What's the matter with you people?
So go to
Not
Wolfie's
you.
tonight if you want to run into Kent. If he's bored, he's going to call me, and I may be there too. Wolfie's on the lake. And go get a boat right here. Just Add Water Boats. I wore this shirt today because, one, I'm a fabricophobe, which and I love this shirt. I do. I only wear certain shirts. I could wear that shirt. I'm literally a fabricophobe.
What kind of fabric are you a phobic of?
This is fine as long as I have a T-shirt. But when my wife will say like, "What kind of shirt do you want?" I go, "Well, I need a double X." But if I go like that and it doesn't stretch, it won't fit. This shirt fits beautifully. And Keith Hockett, the owner of Just Add Water Boats, sent me a YouTube clip today, so it made me think of him. So if you're looking for a boat, go to Just Add Water Boats. You got go to see Dr. Mike O'Neill.
It's just that simple. If you need a boat, just head over. Get a great deal, and I'll bet he throws in a shirt.
I bet he would. And if you have any problems with fabric, these are the kind of shirts. Although that shirt is really good.
Okay, yeah, it's got the cocktails on it. It's got flowers of some kind of pineapple.
I can't wear
festive.
it. It's hard. I'm a hard live.
You think?
Happy Lent. See ya.